You gonna tell me when? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the fifth quarter show at the Wildcat Grill. If you hadn't had your dinner tonight, this is where you need to be. Tyler Truelove serving up all the good stuff here at the Wildcat Grill. We want to thank him for hosting our show tonight. And I'm joined tonight with Chad Johnson and Coach Gillespie. How you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate you having me.
All right, let's get going here. I'll tell you what, let's start off by talking about this past week. We were off. Tell us a little bit about, number one, your philosophy on off weeks, what the schedule was, and what you tried to accomplish.
Yeah, so there's about 3 or 4 things that we try to accomplish during an off week. Number one, it is an opportunity to get some kids a little bit of rest, and somebody that's banged up, you try to get them better, and those types of things. So we try to manage them a little bit. Monday is not quite as long as our normal Monday would be. We give our younger kids a couple of more reps during that Monday practice. Tuesday and Wednesday is our work days, and then Thursday is pretty quick, and we try to make it fast tempo. But we're trying to balance, getting kids well. Still, at this point in the year, there's still so many things fundamentally, schematically, that you need to improve on. And you need live work in order to get better at those things. So it's a balance between, managing a kid's body and the length of a season, and still trying to get better fundamentally, schematically. And then, too, we've got a head start on Dalton, and we want to take advantage of that and get some reps in for them, and go ahead and start implementing the game plan. And you've got to be careful when you do that, because you do get a whole extra week's worth of work, and sometimes you can lean towards doing a little bit too much, and then that's another balancing act that you have to just keep in mind as you go through that off week. But I thought it was productive. I thought we had a good off week. I thought that our kids handled it well, and like I said. Monday is normally a padded day for us. It's a contact day for us, and Tuesday is a contact day for us, and then Wednesday is a non-contact, and Thursday is a non-contact. So we made Monday a non-contact, and then we got after it good on Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday were almost like normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to touch on that a little bit, Coach, you'd kind of mentioned it. It's a little extra work. You get to work on fundamentals, I guess, the last week, and then you start looking at game prep for Dalton. Do you? And it's just a personal question, just wanting to know the answer. Do you like a bye week early this season, or to me, you've got 2 game wins there, and then all of a sudden you got a bye week. How do you keep? I guess the question is, how do you keep that momentum going?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a challenge because I say all the time that a game has momentum, but a season certainly has momentum, and you want to maintain that, and it's a concern. I mean, it is, and so often you see teams come off a bye week and they don't quite play as well, or there's just a little something missing, or it takes them a couple of series to get back in the swing of the speed of the game and those things. And hopefully, because of the way we practice, that will not be a factor with us. But it's always a concern. You worry about interrupting rhythm, worry about interrupting the flow, but. It kind of came at a good time for us, and with 2 bye weeks, it's about the right spot. Maybe a game later, but
right.
You're dealing with so much in today's world of trying to get a schedule, So sometimes you take the bye weeks where you can get them,
right?
And then the second one is the luck of a draw, with the region schedule. So
right.
you don't have a whole lot to say in what goes on in that second one.
Right.
And that's going to be the middle of October.
Right.
Toward the end of October.
And those are always good toward the end because you usually have some injuries. You need an extra week of
That's
rest.
Right. Yeah. So, I enjoy the off week, the bye week, and I think it's an opportunity. Like I said, for us, it's a fundamental week, and then I say that, and we're always trying to get better fundamentally, and that's what the game's all about. I remember working for Coach Bobo. He used to have a saying. He said that the scheme can break down, but the fundamentals can't. And so you've got to constantly stay on top of the fundamentals.
All right. Good deal. Well, we look forward to seeing all of our rested guys come back strong this coming week. So let's talk a little bit, if you don't mind, Coach, about our JV team coming up, their season, how they're doing. Who are we looking at there? You got some players standing out down there. What can we look for on that JV team?
Yeah, we're excited about that group, and it's a big piece of our football program, and trying to build a football program from top to bottom, and it's important for those guys to play. And they actually start their season this week against Franklin, North Carolina. So we look forward to watching those guys get an opportunity to get out on the field and play. And we've been able to play them for limited time in the varsity games, and both varsity games those guys have gotten roughly a quarter's worth of play, but this will be all about them from start to finish. And with our numbers, there's certainly some challenges to how we want to manage that group. GHSA sets your limit at 6 quarters per week, so we've got some guys that are playing key roles on varsity positions that I hope it doesn't, but somewhere down the line that may become an issue for us, and then you have to decide how you're going to manage those numbers. But right now, coming off an off week or a bye week, we've got all those guys, so we look forward to a full game and getting after it with Franklin on Thursday afternoon. So it's always fun to watch how those guys play, and you're gonna have 2 or 3 guys that are gonna jump out at you and make plays in those games, and kind of raise hopes for the future moving forward.
Okay, so you got freshmen, sophomores mainly playing in that game.
Mainly, and there may be a junior or 2 here or there that we plug in, but predominantly it's 9th and 10th graders. And
how about, do we have any 8th graders playing on that JV
Not
team?
this year,
okay.
and so GHSA allows you to do that. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we do. We do. Garrett Goss is playing on that. And I keep forgetting that he's in the 8th grade. He's a really good player for us. So
that's Coach Goss's son.
That's right. Yeah. So he is in the 8th grade. So, but what happens with that is those kids are allowed 1 game less. Okay, the 8th graders are allowed 1 game less. So there will be 1 game if we end up playing a full JV schedule. There will be 1 game that he'll have to sit. Okay,
let me ask you this, and kind of to piggyback on that JV thing is our rec league. Mm-hmm. Are we integrating your playbook into our rec league?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's it's really fun to go and watch those guys practice. And I met with a group of the coaches that coached that group, and kind of just gave them some base stuff. And it's really neat to go out there and watch them practice and hear them calling our formations and our some of our plays and some of those things. It's and that's where it starts. I mean, if you just learn just a handful of the formations and maybe a run or two, and it's amazing what a head start that gives you as moving forward, just from a terminology standpoint.
And you mentioned talking about the rec league and also our JV, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. Yeah, you number of players, you got to play them back on that, but it's got to say so much for the experience by the time they become juniors and seniors.
Right.
That you can start spring off and they know what you're talking about. Yeah. It gets you so far ahead of the game.
Yeah, no doubt. Football is it's turned into year round. It's not like. Although college football is trying to prove that wrong, it seems like they're starting from scratch every year now with the way that their setup is. In high school football, it's still about a program. It's still about a process and building a kid and building a football program and being able to go from Step A as a rec league guy to Step B as a middle school guy, and then a JV, and then on to a varsity guy. And we as coaches complain all the time about the instant gratification mentality, and those guys that if they're not ultra successful as a ninth grader, then you get the hands thrown up and, hey, this is not for me. I've got to find something else. I feel like I'm wasting my time. And where ultimately what you really want is a guy that will put in the work as a ninth grader, get better, maybe play a backup role as a 10th grader, and then his junior and senior years, you got a pretty good football player that you can win football games with, and ultimately that's what we want.
Right.
And,
trying to build that Rudy mindset. You're here for a purpose. Find your purpose on the team.
Yeah, it's about serving and being a part of a program, and that makes football unique. There's not many places anymore where you can go, and the expectation is that you work for a couple of years, before you see anything from it. We live in a society where we all get pissed off if we pull up to a stop sign or a red light and we have to sit there for more than 20 seconds, or we send an email and it doesn't go through instantaneously. Right. That's our society, and our youth is right in the middle of that. And it's important for us to understand that success takes investment and it takes time. So.
Hey, good to be here.
By the way,
sorry I'm running late.
By the way, Joey Thompson, the third member of the Wildcat Live team, has joined us.
Yes, and I've been away, so I'm sorry. But speaking of that, you're talking about ninth graders, and I was thinking about when you were talking, I was thinking about shared suffering.
Yeah.
That it's not just about what about me, but then those kids are also suffering together. And I coached rec league, and I had Reed Giles on my team for like 2 practices because, I don't know, Darren was still trying to figure it out what was going to happen with them. But to this day, he was the best kid I ever had. I mean, for as far as athletically, for two practices. But at the same time, he still had to go through all of the hard things, like going through rec in middle school, being a freshman. Right. And I look at him and Ty and some of these other kids that have been playing forever together. Now they're seniors. What about how much them suffering together through all that? Yeah. How does that play in?
Well, I think everybody throws the term brotherhood around pretty loosely today, and it just is a catchy thing. And I even told our guys that don't use it unless you understand what it means. Yeah. And I think that doing those things together and going through those trials together and going through those hard times together are what create a brotherhood. And there's a saying, I think it was Vince Lombardi that said, the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. And when you've worked at something from the time you were in rec league to the time that you're a senior, you're gonna play hard. Yep. And it's gonna be really hard to surrender those things.
Well, I see the slogan y'all got going on. Stand alone together.
Right.
Like you've got your job to do, but you're also doing it with these other guys, right. And they're being formed and being cast too.
No doubt.
And it just makes them tougher.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. All right, let's get down to some football business here for this coming week. This Friday night, we're going to make that 2.5-hour trip west over to the historic Harmon Field and Bill Chappell Stadium, where we're going to take on the Dalton Catamounts, where they have a long storied tradition. Coach Chappell came in there and was there for 33 years and never had a losing season. Won state championship, played for it 6 times, and so from 1960 all the way to 2019, they had a winning season, and so they've fallen on some hard times. They're 0-3 to start the year, but they got a new coach. Their new coach, Chris Pruitt, came over from Roswell, where he was 50-14. I've set the table, Coach. Tell us about Dalton.
Well, we've got a lot of respect for that program in general, and certainly, like you said, it's a historic program that's had a lot of success throughout the years. And you know, I think when you look at just the scores, I think, you know, a lot of people see, you know, the results that they had last year, and now they're off to an 0-3 start. But let me tell you something: don't be fooled by Dalton. They have put up astronomical numbers on offense. They've got a kid at quarterback that he's like ranked in the nation in passing yards.
Yep.
It's like sixth in the nation in passing yards.
In 3 games, he's got 891 yards passing, so he's averaging almost 300 a game.
It's just, you know, it's these Nintendo type numbers, not Nintendo, but whatever they play now. You know, the PlayStation type numbers
on the Xbox.
The Xbox type numbers, you know. But and he's a really good player, and he's a guy that can run around, extend plays, and you know, when they do that, they've got enough speed at receiver that you got to stay in coverage, you know, for a long time, and I think that's where they start, is with him and those receivers, and you know, certainly they've got a running game, but I think ultimately it's about, you know, us being able to contain the quarterback, being able to limit the time that he does have to throw, not allow him to extend those plays, because the hardest thing to do on defense is to stay in coverage, and you know, the best pass coverage is a really good pass rush, and hopefully we can provide the secondary some relief by doing a great job of keeping him hemmed up and contained. So, and then you know, defensively, I know they've given up some big numbers, but I mean, so they have played North Murray, okay, who I think is undefeated, okay, and got a really good quarterback, guy that can run around like this guy can. They have played North Oconee, who is on a different level, and they have played Northwest Whitfield, who has got linemen the size of the University of Georgia. And, you know, so I think they're getting bashed by what they are, you know, or the numbers that they've put up defensively. But when you watch them, you know, they're doing enough stuff with the defense that it challenges you as far as preparation. You know, our kids have to be dialed in and ready to make adjustments and understand what it is that they're looking at, and be able to do some of those things on the move. It's hopefully we'll have our team prepared for the things that they're going to get on Friday, and you know, with as much as they're doing, there's a possibility that they throw out a thing or two that they haven't shown, and we'll make those adjustments as soon as we possibly can. So, you know, they've got 4 guys up front that are pretty good, and you know, that I think you know, have a chance to be really good players on the defensive front. So, and I think that defensively, that's probably where it starts with them, is with the front 4.
This kid, they've got Abraham Woods. Or Abraham Evans, excuse me. Kane Woods is the quarterback. This Abraham Woods is leading their region in tackles. He's got like 30-something tackles in 3 games.
You'll have to tell me numbers.
I don't. Number 20.
Number 20. Gotcha.
Number 20. Apparently, he's leading them in tackles, and just like you said, they got one of their receivers, Haven Sorrells, number 11. Is leading the region in their region in receiving yards and scoring points. So they've got some region leaders over there. That region they're in, and let's keep in mind they're a 4A school.
Right.
And then they're in that same region with Cartersville and some of those big boys.
Yeah, and you know, the just the pure depth of everything becomes a concern, and their ability to play guys on one side of the ball, and us playing, you know, everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of kids both ways, and you know, so those things become a factor, and you know, but I'll say this, you know, nobody has higher expectations for ourselves than us, and you know, we set a high bar for ourselves, so the 4A thing and all of that, you know, it's a concern, but it shouldn't be a factor.
Yeah, you touched on something there, Coach. You know, they're a 0-3 team, but you look at their stats. I know you mentioned before you're not a stats guy, but they can score some points. But I've experienced as a player. I think we've all been there at some point in our lives. How do you motivate? How do you keep this team up? Because I know how players are. They're going to look at a record of another team. How do you keep them motivated to stay focused?
Well, it's pretty easy when you show them the film.
Right.
And it's not. It doesn't take a genius to look at their film and tell that they have some good players, that they have some speeds, and they have some guys that can go make plays, and they have some guys that run around and hit you on defense. So that makes it easy. But we talked about it today, and it's. Coach Saban made it pretty famous a couple of years ago and had the famous rat poison speech, right? Yeah. And you can't buy into that. You just can't. You play one game at a time, okay, and you get your team ready to be at its best, 1 week at a time, and you do that week after week after week, and you turn around and you've had a pretty good season.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about a little bit about Dalton. I just want to touch a little bit on the Coach Chappell, who was there, who won over 300 games, who set quite a legacy over there. He's a Hall of Fame coach. We'll be playing in his stadium. How about our crowd? How can we motivate them to get them over there? I mean, we need some support.
Well, it's this will be my first experience on the road as the head coach here. Mm-hmm. But if our home games or any indication of what to expect, I know that we'll have a great following, and there's nothing as a player, as a coach, that feels better when you come out and you hear your people cheering for you. And I've been able to be a part of a couple of settings where it was almost like our team was the home team, and hopefully we'll create that type of atmosphere for our kids on Friday. And it's an emotional game, and certainly the crowd is a huge part of it, and I'm sure we'll have a great following. I look forward to seeing it.
All right, there'll be a lot of red and black there. All right, Coach, I tell you what, we got a special guest tonight. You have allowed us to bring in Coach Bill Stewart, your defensive coordinator, and so we'd like for him to come on up now, and you're going to swap places, and we're going to talk to Coach Stewart here.
Thanks, Coach.
And we'll be bringing you back for some closing words. All right, the hot seat right here. You've been in it before.
Yeah.
All right, what an honor we have here tonight. We've got the defensive coordinator for your Wildcats, Coach Bill Stewart. What a coaching career he's had. Most notably, he was the coach at North Gwinnett when they won the state championship.
Yes, sir.
Has a coaching record of 101-45. That's pretty doggone good, Coach.
Not bad.
And, of course, you had 7 region titles. Some at North Gwinnett, and then some at Etowah.
Yes, sir.
So you were at Etowah for 4 years, 5 years? 6 years. 6. Okay. All right, so you've had head coaching at Etowah and North Gwinnett here, and you went to Alabama. What was you thinking in Alabama?
Yeah, I went up there. I was the athletic director and head football. I opened up a school up in James Clemens in Madison, Alabama. And so, we just tried it. We wanted to just do that thing, yeah.
And then you came back, and the last couple of years you have been on the staff at Georgia Tech.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your college experience.
Yeah, I mean, I was blessed that Brent Key, had me on, and I got to know him when I was at Etowah. Mm-hmm. I'm a UCF grad alumni, played football there, and so we would take our team down there to padded camp at UCF. Okay. And he was down there. He was a young guy at that point, and he was working with O'Leary and stuff. So got to know him through that time. And then when he had gotten the job, we connected, and I got to be over there. Yeah.
And you worked on the defensive staff there.
I did, yeah. And I was the assistant to the linebackers. Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. And that had to be satisfying because Georgia Tech has made a remarkable run here under Brent Key.
Yeah.
And they are
Yeah, and they'll continue to do so. I think they got a lot of great people there. I mean, it's a great staff. It's a great staff. It's a lot of great people.
Right.
Good human beings too. Like they're good people.
Gotcha. All right, so let's talk about here at Rabun County. We are so lucky that tell us a little bit about how you got here. How did Coach Gillespie get you to come to Rabun County?
Really, I had a friend. Really, when this whole thing, the coaching staff was being changed, and somebody called me just out of nowhere, and asked. It really was a text on, "Hey, would you be interested in a mountain school?" And then I said, "I don't know which one." And they said Rabun. And I said, "Yeah," and so. At the end of the day, Rance had gotten the job, and through a friend, I got connected with him, and that's kind of how this rolled into that. We kind of knew each other a little bit, just as acquaintances, but knew people that all knew each other and knew us and those kind of things. So that's kind of how it got connected, and then. And then Coach Gillespie called me, and that's how we rolled into it.
Were you familiar with Rabun County beforehand?
So beforehand, I had a really good friend that lived on Lake Burton, and so Eric Young and Eric was was with me at North Gwinnett and everything else, and at Etowah at one point. So he's with Reeves and Young Construction. And so anyways, I would come to his lake house all the time, and you would see the school, and beautiful, right?
Yeah,
so you just and I knew Lee Shaw, and so you kind of, I knew Connor Shaw, I knew all those guys through coaching, through the coaching pedigree of everything else, right?
Yeah.
And so just knowing what that is, that's why when it came up, it was kind of like, you know what, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then I kind of, you know the tradition, and then you just know people that have been here, and how they felt when they were here, and so that's kind of kind of how it rolled. And then just seeing the school, I never knew or thought I'd be here.
Yeah.
But I feel fortunate every day being here. I do when I walk out on that campus and when I walk out of the cafeteria and everything, you see the mountains and everything else. And being under Coach Gillespie is awesome.
Yeah.
And so just the way I think the way he runs the program is just direct lines with. I think that's why we mesh very well.
Yeah, both of you had college experience.
Yes,
both
sir.
Of you had yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and so it really works, and it's we're on the same program as far as, we want all these guys to be first class, and we want these guys to earn everything they got, and that's one of the things. And an organization and the detail about the way we go about and the process part of it, it's a big deal. And he doesn't leave anything unturned. It's really awesome.
Yeah. That's great.
Chad, go ahead.
Well, certainly glad to have you here. Congratulations on both your colleges, Tech and UCF over the weekend.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah, they did well.
But definitely glad to have you here. And I guess we'll just get into a little bit about this week in Dalton. Of course, we looked at their stats. We mentioned those earlier. They're a big passing team. Quarterbacks ranked nationally. So I guess, what's your philosophy on this game plan as far as stopping Dalton in their passing game?
When you watch their games, I mean, he runs all over the place, and he, and then he's got there's 3 or 4 skilled kids that are really good. One's actually got a Georgia Tech offer, the number 11 for them. He's a tall, lean guy. So you have to make plays on those guys. You have to, he's elusive. So when you got that, you got a playmaker back there that creates a lot. And so you want to hold those down. It's a mix of it. If you come after him, you miss him, then you're in trouble, right? And then if you drop them all, and then he runs around, so you got to kind of nitpick what you can do, but it's really it still comes down to the same philosophy all the time. Is your kids have to play with relentless effort and quality execution, and at the end of the day, when you're there to make a play, you have to make your play, and when you don't make a play, somebody's got to be there to pick you up, and that comes with the relentless part of it, and so. That is something key that we've been going on from the very beginning of the first day I walked in this building to now is if you flip on a tape, the biggest pride that you would have on a defense is, hey, man, these guys run. These guys get after it. These guys fly around, and they execute. It doesn't mean you're not going to have a play played against you. I mean, there's a lot of good offenses. There's a lot of good plays. But you hold those things down, you hold those big plays down by those things. I mean, by having a quality execution and being relentless to the football, and that's kind of the.
Well, it's certainly done a good job so far. I think 6 points has only been scored against us, if I remember correctly. So excellent job so far.
Yeah, and we look at it right now as we know From day one, when we walked in, we're a long ways from where we were.
Right.
We're not where we want to be, but we are a long ways from where we were at first. So that's kind of where we're at. I think each week, you are looking to get better and better and better. I feel like we got better last week, even though being an off week, I thought we did a good job of handling ourselves. I think this week we're working to be better than we were a week ago, because even though that was a shutout, there was a ton of mistakes to go around, and
there always are.
These guys get it from me all the time, and you think you leave there and you're like, oh man, we just did all that, and you look at your grade and you're like, okay, I'm not sure, but we, not that we have to have everything's got to be perfect, but it does have to be better, and it just every time just because you hold someone to no points doesn't mean that there wasn't a ton to improve from, and there is. Yeah.
Let's talk real quickly about overall your defensive philosophy. We're playing 4 men down football. For those out there who really like to talk about that kind of stuff, give us kind of your philosophy overall on what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the beginning of it, you want to stop the run, make it one-dimensional. At that point, you're dealing with passes at that point. But we try and create a wall from sideline to sidelines to make everyone run east and west as beyond north and south. That's kind of the philosophy of it. Whether you're spilling from the inside or whether you're spilling from the outside, and because replacing a crack is the same thing as an end canceling a gap, so it's just a wider thing. So that's kind of creating that wall. We want to be multiple in our coverages and those things, not to just get a complete fix on what you're doing, but not to the point where you can't execute. And so we will play some match, but we will also play some one high, and we will also play some zone. And so we're mixing those up. Sometimes we are 3 down, and we will, either be bringing it from it or dropping 8 or those kind of things. So we want to be multiple in the fact that we want to look like we're in things, but also be in some other, but not lose the execution part, because I still feel like it is more about the fundamental execution and the relentless effort, and then you mix in these things that can create some problems for an offense, but you can still execute your defense. And I think that's kind of been the difference in big school and little school.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For us right now is that, even at North, we were 2 platoon. If we were defensive guys, I'm coaching defensive guys. They're not offensive guys.
Right.
If I'm offensive guys, we're coaching both. Mm-hmm. And then you have to keep that in mind about how much can a kid take from knowing all of his offense and then knowing all of this. And then you have to finally get to a point where you're like, hey, I think I'm going to shove this to the side. This is what we can do right now. let's move on. And that's kind of been the curve, of trying to get that done from day one to now. What are we? How we have progressed to get to a point where, okay, here's what I think we can do, but get it executed, as opposed to just, hey, you can just throw it out there and then wish and hope, but hope is not a strategy.
That was a question I had, because you are pulling in some, in rotation, some of those guys from the offensive line as well.
Yeah.
And how much are you going to be able to throw at them? So,
and
they're doing great. They're doing great, by the way.
Yeah. And then so like if you look at like Bobby Gordon, I mean, he comes from playing center, and he goes over and plays a 3 technique. Yeah. And he's a big guy.
Yeah.
He can't play every rep, so then somebody else has to go in and play, and somebody else has to go in. So then all of a sudden, and then somebody gets a twisted ankle, and then the whole thing gets shuffled. And so, but you got to have it where you don't just end up being, vanilla at that point, and just, okay, now we can't do anything, as opposed to, okay, how much can we get in and still execute it, even when you have those substitutions going in and those kind of things, and still performing what you want to have.
Yeah.
Well, we noticed
our kids have been doing a good job with it as far as that load.
Well, they've bought in.
They are, and
they have bought in.
And I really think the structure of practice, the way Coach Gillespie has put that together, I think the way we do our meetings, and the way I think, especially like, and I know he mentioned it last week, but the special teams wise, I mean, we've done such a great job, and and that's even from talking in my head coach hat, of the way we've done that, and the way that's been built up, and it's shown, because they've done a great job special teams wise, which also helps us defensively. Do what we can do.
Well, let's mention this. We're talking about the offense, defense, special teams. Let's talk about that fourth layer there that nobody ever talks about, but you're in charge of it, the weight program.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the weight program.
Yeah, I love the weight room, man.
Tell us a little bit.
Listen, the one of the things about going to Georgia Tech. And I love Georgia Tech, but when I got there, it was different when you go there and then all of a sudden there's a strength staff.
Yeah.
There's a whole group of guys doing it, and you're really not the guy doing it. I missed that so much. I missed that. I missed coordinating. And, those were the things that really fundamentally, as a guy that wants to coach and get out there and sweat with it and all that stuff, I love going out and sweating with these guys. I love getting out there, and I love pushing guys in the weight room and putting together that. I love that building block of that, and that was really something deep down in my heart that I was like, oh man, I didn't get back to that, and so that's been a fun thing for me. I love getting those guys going in there, and it's always been in my heart, and I've done it all my life. So every program I've been with, I've been that guy doing that. And so, until I went over there, right? And so, yeah, it just comes back in, and it was like being starved on an island and then jumping back into it. It was just great to do it. And I'm having a lot of fun with that. So.
And the
guys are getting after it.
I was going to say they've bought into that weight program too, haven't they?
They have. It's been fun. They're getting after it, and
you can see on the field.
And I think they do. And I think they do a good job in the weight room. I'm not sitting there having to prod them every day and feel like I need to kick people out of there.
And that's got to be a great feeling. And
awesome.
We kind of mentioned. Buying in, and of course, several new coaches, of course, Coach Gillespie, head coach, and yourself coming in.
Yeah.
Was there a period, or did these kids just automatically buy right in as soon as y'all got here, or was? Because I know it's got to be elation when you see that.
Yeah, I think when you come in, Coach Gillespie's different. I'm different. You come in and they gotta I think every kid kind of figures you out at, like, okay, what's this guy, and sometimes I'm a little loud and fiery and all that stuff. And so again, for those guys, I think, and for Coach Gillespie, it's that what we feel like is that we can never, as coaches, ever let up. We can never let up, and every day we have to bring it. I mean, it's the enthusiasm, the energy that we have to bring every day, and it can't be different from day to day. And so that's kind of for us, for both of us, and all the coaches really is that's just what we have to do, and so that's kind of the, I would hope that our kids come in every day and they feel that, hey, this is different. Mm-hmm. This is different. These guys are after, and I'll die in that place. As far as like before I let up, and that's kind of the way it works.
Not to be too nerdy about it, but could you tell us maybe what a typical year would look like as far as our guys being conditioning? I mean, because the summer's going to look different than what right now during the season. But how are you getting?
Yeah, so, I mean, when you get done, like right now, you're in a phase of where you're in season conditioning, right? Mm-hmm. That's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty much getting after it good. We have a bench PR day, which is Wednesday, so mm-hmm. I feel like, okay, even during the year, during the season, we can still get that bench in, and somebody might, and we've had guys get personal records mm-hmm. every Wednesday, so that's fun. But then, then we do some yoga on Thursday, and we call it Stoga, which is Stewart yoga. And so I get a little bit of that. So I think those guys appreciate it. They really like the breathing part because they all like fall asleep and are drooling during that time. And then we'll get a nice quick pump you up thing on Friday and just to get their juices flowing a little bit, and then. So that's kind of in season. When we get into after the break, after the Christmas break, mm-hmm. you start day one when you get back from the break, and now you're 5 days a week lifting. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go into a phase where it's 5 days a week lifting, and then we start 4 days a week speed training.
Wow.
So that's kind of the part is that becomes very much a building block for bigger, faster, stronger. Because those are bigger, faster athletes. Mm-hmm. And so we don't want to create bodybuilders, but we want to create great athletes, and you have to be bigger, faster, and stronger, and we want to have more explosion off the ground. And those things come from the Olympic lifts that we do on top of the things that we do as far as flexibility and those kind of things. And so that piece right there, and then I'm very big into the speed training part of it. Mm-hmm. I think those kids, the guys have learned that. Like we do a speed training program, and we'll have 2 days linear that are going to be, you're going to be wide open at some point in that time, but it's form running and you build through that. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, then you're going to have more of a plyo agility mm-hmm. day. So really 2 days of linear, 2 days of that. And so, but with that 5 day a week, 4 day, that's where you're building. And that takes you all the way into spring practice. Then you get into another little deal. And then summer goes in different. It's a 4 day program, mm-hmm. Because they get their weekends and they get the Fridays. So that's and then there's a conditioning piece in summer. Wow. That has to be a part of it. But I think, we really, at the end of the day, we want to create someone that can, it's a better clock time, it's a better speed time, it's a better explosion, better vertical, all those things. That's really the block. It's really not about football technique and all that. It's about during the winter time and up in the spring.
Well, I think it's important for everybody. I mean, I love all that. I mean, it's great hearing all that. Just from from somebody who appreciates it, but just for our folks to hear that it's not just, hey, we practice hard when we play on Friday night. No, there's something that's going on all year long. That presents what happens on Friday night.
That's it. That's right. And that's the crazy. That's what's so awesome about football. We get done with the season, however this season ends, and then it goes into Christmas break, and guess what? We flip it back in. And you have to do it.
Going like to kids maybe listening or watching, they're in rec league or they're middle school. They need to. I mean, you can get stronger faster, and you can be a part of this, even though you may feel like you can't. It's just you got to hit the room.
You got to do it.
You got to do
You got to do it. There's no other way around it. You got hard work works, and at the end of the day, consistent hard work, persistent, consistent. That's what we talk about our guys too. Is that you have to be a consistent guy every day. You can't. Hey, 1 week I'm good, next week I'm missing, the other week I'm back, and that all that because then. Yeah, you may get a gain, but you're not getting the gains like that you need to win championships.
It's a mindset.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. That's awesome.
Every individual.
All right, Coach. Wow, that's some great. That's why we are so fortunate to have you.
Yeah.
Because you got a full-time job. You got 2 full-time jobs,
yeah.
coaching and weight the weight room director. All right. So as we finish up with you real quick here. Let's do a little personal thing. Tell us a little bit about your family. I mean, so there's a lot of people, Wildcat Nation wants to know about Bill Stewart.
My wife, she is the heart and soul of our family, right? And so she's, Nicole.
Nicole.
Yeah, 30 years, been married,
okay.
and met her at UCF. She was a trainer.
Oh, wow.
So we went through 3 days together and all that stuff, and then we met at the after 3 days party, and so that was kind of the deal. And so we dated all through college and everything. So we got married, played arena ball, did all that stuff, and then we got three kids. Jake is he graduated Kennesaw State, and he's working for Builders First right now. And then my 2 daughters, one graduated from Georgia as a business degree, and they're both, and the other one is still in college. She's taking some online courses now at Kennesaw, but they have moved to Colorado right now in Breckenridge, where we go skiing all the time. So for 30 years, we had been skiing over there. So they decided, you know what? Hey, this year they'll move over there. So we'll go visit them all the time. But our family loves spending time together, and we love the mountains and doing the skiing and stuff, and
cool.
And but that's kind of my son played football, and we won a state championship together. So he was my starting linebacker, middle linebacker, and both of my daughters played lacrosse and flag football and everything else. So they were all involved with all that, and they all graduated from North Gwinnett, but they're my core.
All right. Well, those 30 years, you married right, because she already knew the football program.
Exactly.
She knew what it was going to be like.
Exactly. Like I don't even know. Like when someone tells me that their wife doesn't understand what's going on. Like no, she knew the deal, and no, she's an intense fan too. So if I think she's been sat by your wife before too. So when she gets in the game. And she's not really into the wanting to look around. All she wants to be seeing what's going on the game, and she's an avid college football fan too. And so, but yeah, she's into it.
Yeah, my wife Anna said that she's finally found somebody that loves college football as much as she does, and so
we had it on all weekend and stuff. So, but no, just. It's been such a blessing to be married to her and just us do life together. So that's been the thing.
All right, Wildcat Nation, this is your defensive coordinator. We are so blessed to have you. Coach
I'm
Bill Stewart,
to be here.
Thank you for being with us, man.
Thank you.
What an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we're going to get Coach Gillespie up for just a few more words, and then we'll be out of here for this week and headed over to Dalton. All right, Coach. We're gonna wrap it up here. With some final comments from you, Coach Stewart. What, man? I'm telling you, boy.
We're blessed.
We're fortunate.
We really are. We really are. That was a key piece to the staff, and that just fell in place, and we've been so blessed. Bill does a great job. He does a great job with our defense, but he also does a great job in our weight room, and just a culture setter, and years ago, Coach Hodges was like, you're looking for an edge coach, a guy that can put a sharp edge on a player, and certainly that's Bill Stewart. So we're very fortunate to have him, and hopefully we can do a segment like that with several of our coaches as I work our way through the year, and maybe we can have a different one up next week and get all of our guys or our fans an opportunity to know a little bit more about this coaching staff.
Absolutely, and we got some personal information from him too, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So anything you want to say to Wildcat Nation as we end the fifth quarter show tonight?
Yeah. Hey, we get to play football again this week. We're looking forward to it, and looking forward to our first opportunity to go on the road, and hopefully we'll go play really well.
That's right. It's just 2.5 hours. We can make that trip. We
Absolutely.
can do it.
Absolutely.
All right. So thank y'all for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week after we've went over there to Dalton. For Chad, Joey, Coach Gillespie, Chris Connolly signing off. Thank you.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Tremendous. You got any little women?
My grandmother. It's in the northern
That's local.
She met my grandmother.
I found out that means long beard. I did. They all had long beard.
Yeah, my grandfather saw them there. Met her and stayed there a few years after we got this one.
We were at Pisa, and they had this huge great indoor play doing. And I looked down, and there's this guy. His last name was Keener. And he's buried there. But when he was stationed there, he defended that particular area. And so we put him there. I'm gonna look up his name. He's on Keener.
When they came back to your story, my grandfather family
Appreciate you, man.
good seeing you. Appreciate you. Everybody lined up at Denver to see what kind of all that.
They're a little bit everybody.
Well, my grandmother's dad actually
I was really surprised when I did that.
See, darling.
Especially we were there, Germany, Switzerland, but they were all Joey.
Yeah, I'd go over there. She would get, and this was after 9/11, so the flight was like, she'd call me, can you take all the flight? But when she would fly, she would get at least 48 hour layup, and it was a 4-day trip. So I'd take off, I'd fly with her. She'd work the whole lot. As soon as we got there, we'd go sightseeing. Fly back. But I did it several times, all over the place.
She's still doing it?
No, she gave it up about 10 years ago and bought 2 makeup studios, Merle Norman's Makeup, and does that. And it had got to our point that they kind of just like rules about she would actually have to fly to Europe, like move and fly in the continent, within the continent there, do trip, and then get back here. Michael was growing up. I was a supervisor for patrol, so my shift was kind of crazy too. So we'd pass like this.
I remember when my mom, she was a president of an adoption agency. Me and my brother turned 13 years old. She left, and I'll never forget that. Came home.
So she was asking me about it. I said, you know what? You need to get a sheet of paper, write down pros and cons, and pray about it. I'm not going to. You're not putting that on me.